Om Sai Ram, everyone. Today we start with yet another fresh episode of the life of Sripad Sri Vallabh. As you remember from the previous week's discussion, that we were discussing about the birth, the incarnation of Sripad Sri Vallabh Swami and his different teachings. And today we are going to discuss about one of the leelas that Sripad Sri Vallabh has done in his lifetime by granting a son to a lady called Ambika. What is the leela? What are the details of it? Let's dive deeper into them today. Last week I had made a mention of the Kuravpur island where Sripad Sri Vallabh started living. If you didn't watch it, please go back and watch the previous video so that you get a clearer context. So today's adhyay is named Ambika Granted Boon by Sripad Sri Vallabh. A Brahmin well versed in Vedas and Shastras stayed on this Kuravpur island. His wife Ambika had a very good character, but they had no children. Hence, with great devotion they went to a pilgrimage and visited a number of places. However, none of their children survived. Eventually, one son survived, but due to their misfortune, he was dull and not too smart since birth. Hence, the Brahmin couple was very much dejected and unhappy. The Brahmin thought that he would improve after the thread ceremony. Hence, he performed the sacred thread ceremony of his son very early. He tried to teach him all the religious duties of a Brahmin, but it was all in vain. The boy never remembered anything taught by his father. Due to anger, his father beat him severely. Unable to bear the pain, the boy would scream out loudly. His mother Ambika used to writhe in pain by those screams. Eventually, Ambika lost her patience and spoke to her husband. What is the use of beating him? He is dull and helpless by birth. Probably it might be the result of his deeds committed in past life. I cannot tolerate this severe beating. I am unable to bear his loud screams. Nobody can go against one's destiny. It is God's wish. In case you continue this beating, then I will die. Out of frustration, the Brahmin stopped teaching and beating stopped as a result. After this, the Brahmin always remained depressed. After a few days, he passed away. Ambika was struck with great calamity after the death of her husband now. Now she was left without a husband and a dumb son. With great difficulty, Ambika continued her bare minimum subsistence, working as a maidservant. Her son grew up, but people continued to condemn him. They would taunt him. In the house of a learned father, you are born as a dullard. Now you are troubling your mother. Either you work as a laborer somewhere or die by drowning yourself in a river. You are a stigma for the Brahmin community. Due to this severe reprimand, the boy became very miserable. He wept throughout the night and then decided to end his life by committing suicide. He informed his mother about the decision and said, "Death is better than life." Ambika also thought that she should not live anymore. Therefore, both Ambika and her son went to the river, chanting the name of God, to commit suicide. At that very moment, Sripad Sri Vallabh was taking a bath in the river. Both Ambika and her son offered their obeisance to Sripad Sri Vallabh. Sripad Sri Vallabh, who possessed intuitive knowledge and compassion, stopped them from committing suicide and asked them a reason for their action. Ambika related him the whole long story about her life and said, "Oh Lord, now it has become extremely difficult for me and my son to live in this world anymore. There is no means of our continuance. Hence we both have decided to end our lives by committing suicide. Due to our great fortune, we have been blessed with your divine sight during the last moments of our life. At least in my next life, I should not be cheated. I may be blessed with a son like you, who is worthy and well versed in divine knowledge." So by praying, Ambika prostrated on the feet of Lord Sripad Sri Vallabh. The compassionate Sripad Sri Vallabh spoke to her, "It is a great sin to commit suicide. Hence abandon that thought and as a Brahmin woman, observe the religious vow of pradosh. Then your heart's desire will be fulfilled. Pradosh Vrat is generally observed by the devotees of Lord Shiva. So Sripad Sri Vallabh then called Ambika's son and blessed him by placing his bountiful hand on his head and ordered him to recite the Vedas. The Brahmin boy, who was considered as a dullard until now, suddenly started reciting the Vedas. People who witnessed this miracle glorified Lord Sripad Sri Vallabh. Once blessed by the divine grace of Lord Dattatreya, where would bad luck be? Ambika's bad luck had disappeared altogether. Ambika's son started getting respect from the villagers. He got married and lived happily with children. Ambika continued to observe the religious vow of pradosh with great devotion. And this is how we witnessed a miracle of Lord Sripad Sri Vallabh. Next week, let us listen to the interesting and wonderful story of a washerman and how he was blessed by Sripad Sri Vallabh. Till then, Om Sai Ram. All of you stay blessed.